About Jamar Chase, Darren Waller, emergency live stream, emergency meeting, sound the alarm, It's time to talk about why you need to buy both these guys walking into week 11 before it's too late. Darren Waller gonna win leagues for people from week 11 on. Jamar Chase gonna win leagues for people for week 11 on. Both have had their bye. Both are going to be absolute monsters. We're going to go over where I rank them going forward. Thank you for joining me. Joel first in the house. Emergency meeting. Let's go.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.
Smitty.
Take a lap.
What's going on, everybody? We're emergency meeting. We need to discuss last minute trades. Your trade deadline is approaching. Some of you, it's approaching tonight. Some of you, it's approaching tomorrow. We need to have an emergency powwow, a little meeting poo about some players that are gonna explode for you walking into week 11 on. One of them, Jamar Chase. The other one, Darren Waller. Why? Jamar Chase isn't super underrated, Smitty. Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you a little story. Where's my text line phone? I've got my text line phone and my regular phone, okay? On my text line phone, where you can order my text advice, my one-on-one text advice, my service called HeySmitty.com, I get a ton of data that other people don't have access to. Meaning, I get to read the tea leaves. I get to see what's going on in the minds of many, many people. And data doesn't lie. Big data tells you a big story. And I'm seeing way too many concerned messages about Jamar Chase, or just in general, like, hey, what do you think about Jamar Chase? Just ranking him way below where he should be ranked. Jamar Chase is vulnerable to be had via trade right now. Not that he can be had dirt cheap like Waller. Waller's a different story. Waller's on a different level of being able to get somebody cheaply. Okay? And we'll talk about Waller next. But right now, this very second, we're talking about Jamar Chase, Darren Waller, and Jamar Chase specifically this moment. Jamar Chase is going to be a top 5 wide receiver go forward. I see a lot of people suggest that he may be a risky top, like 1 to 7 wide receiver, 1 to 8 wide receiver. No one's selling him at low end wide receiver 2 value, but there are so many people that consider Jamar Chase borderline wide receiver 1 material. And I'm about to tell you that he is in my top 5 to 6 go forward for 2021. He will finish so strong. He will have a 150 or 170 yard game with 2 or 3 TDs coming up here. And it's going to make people get excited about 2022. So not only are we talking about 2021, rest of season, Jamar Chase and Darren Waller, we're going to talk Dynasty. We're going to talk Redraft 2022. We're going to hit both topics on top of the Redraft 2021 rest of season topic. We're hitting all 3 because that's how we roll. As we roll into December, we're talking Dynasty, we're talking 2022, and we're talking rest of season. I'm not messing around anymore where we're just discussing 2021. Some of you play in Dynasty League. Some of you need Dynasty content, and I've been ignoring you. Take a lap. Me. Take a lap me for ignoring my Dynasty people for way, way too long. So we're hitting all 3. 2022 redraft, 2021 rest of season, and 2022 Dynasty. We're breaking it down right now. I'm going to switch microphones and get on over to the marker board. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. You should hear me a little bit more faint right now. Let's get to the marker board. Right in front of your face. Right in front of your face. 2021 rest of season wide receiver rankings. Where's Jamar Chase? Where's Jamar Chase? We're about to slot him into the top 5. I'm going to show you exactly where I like him. Now, we could argue Cup or Hill or Cup, Adams or Hill, Jefferson, why is Diggs there? You should have so-and-so there. Maybe you like A.J. Brown or Deebo Samuel. Let's put Deebo right here. I know a lot of you love Deebo, and I don't blame you. Deebo's playing great. Let's just put Deebo there so we don't get anybody freaking out. Deebo Diggs. We could totally argue that. You could argue Deebo 5. Calm down, Deebo supporters. I know you're going to get upset. And A.J. Brown, we'll put A.J. Brown on the board just so we don't get people's panties in a bunch. Where are we putting Jamar Chase? Where are we putting Jamar Chase? This is where I rank Jamar Chase going forward. Where do I slot him? You're going to think I'm crazy. I'm not saying I would trade Jefferson for him. You don't need to. Just like I told you, Damian Harris was going to be worth a top 7 to 10 or 7 to 12 pick. Has he not been that accurate? He's been amazing. Doesn't mean you take him number 1. Okay? So Jamar Chase has no business being taken any higher than this in a trade. He actually has no business being traded for, but under these guys' value. So 5, 6, 7. Jamar Chase should be traded for at like 8 to 12 wide receiver value. So please understand what I'm saying here. I don't want to hear anybody say Smitty's telling you to go trade for Jamar Chase at top 3 value. I'm trying to tell you the upside. I'm trying to tell you where Jamar Chase is probably going to finish, how he's going to play. Nobody should be trading a Justin Jefferson for Jamar Chase. Nobody should be trading a Stephon Diggs or even a Deebo Samuel for Jamar Chase. If you do, you need to get Deebo and potentially you need to trade Deebo for a Jamar Chase and a James Conner, or maybe even give up a player and get a DeAndre Swift. Then I'm trading Deebo. Then I'm trading Jefferson. Then I'm trading Adams for Chase and Swift. You have to be smart. You cannot go shopping and buying Chase at this top 3 to 4 value. So I'm going to emphasize this one more time. Okay? This is where, let me find a different marker here. Let's go with the red. Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, I believe, will play this good moving forward. And you need to trade for him at, let's call it 8 to 12 wide receiver value, or if you have to, 7 to 12 wide receiver value. Now you might say, Smitty, 7 is not that far from 3, 4. It is. It is. It's more than double his value. If he's going to play like a wide receiver number 3 or 4 overall, and you're paying 7 or 8, even 9 value, you're doubling or tripling the value that you're paying here because he's playing that well. Now, of course, there isn't double, like this isn't like, let's say if you're using auction dollar values, let's say Adams was 55. It's not like it's like half the value, like Jamar Chase would be 25. You might pay 40 for him in an auction. So the values aren't exactly double, but in terms of draft slots, it would be double. So Jamar Chase for me, in terms of a draft, would you take him at 12 overall? No, because that's where you're taking Jefferson or Deebo or Diggs. So Jamar Chase should not be traded for at the value that this describes in terms of a mock draft. It would be 12. This would be like number 10, 11, 12 overall because of all the running backs that would fall ahead of Jamar Chase. You need to trade for Jamar at 7 to 12 wide receiver value, which would put him probably late second round. And that's about where the temperature is on my text line, which I have right here on my text line, my HeySmitty.com text line. I've got the pulse of my people. I've got the temperature of Jamar Chase. The temperature of Jamar Chase says late second round. maybe mid-second round, maybe the guy that owns Jamar Chase in your league absolutely loves him and he won't trade him for anything. I can't control that. I can't control if nobody trades in your league. But I'm telling you with certainty that on average, through my text service, I'm getting the feeling that Jamar Chase is very, very comfortably ranked by everybody that owns him in a 16 to 24 overall value. That makes him a screaming steal when it comes to trade. Jamar Chase will be a 4 overall to 5 overall, top 5 we'll call it, wide receiver finisher from weeks 11 on. From weeks 11 on. Bye week is out of the way. Dude's going to tear it up. I bet you he has multiple 100-yard games. I bet you he has at least 4 or 5 touchdowns minimum, maybe 6 in the coming weeks from weeks 11 on. I bet you he has probably 150 to 170-yard game with 2 or 3 touchdowns inside here. He's going to look so good, Jamar Chase, walking out of 2021, rest of season, weeks 11 on, that I predict in 2022. Now, this isn't my prediction. This isn't my ranking. This is my prediction for where his ADP will be. So we'll put ADP right here. I predict that coming out of 2021 into 2022, we're probably looking at, let's just say everyone ranks Cooper Kupp 1 because they're excited about his season. I'm not saying that's where I'd rank him. I definitely have him in my top 5, but I might move him around a little lower than other people. But ADP-wise, if Kupp continues the ball, he'll probably be the number 1 wide receiver. If it's Hill after him, then it's probably still Adams after him there. My prediction is that Jamar Chase will be either this spot or this spot in 2022 fantasy football August drafts. People will be so amped about his finish, which will put him, if we say that maybe 2 wide receivers go in the first round, that these are the top 2 wide receivers taken, he'll go at number 12 to 15 overall if we use what we've seen in the past where 1 or 2 wide receivers go in round 1. But I got a prediction for you. I have a prediction for you. People are so burned by running backs this year. I bet you we don't have 1 or 2 wide receivers in round 1. I bet you we have 3 or 4 in 2022 redraft fantasy football drafts. I bet you ADP shows at least 3, potentially on and off 4 wide receivers go in the top 12 because people are tired of running backs. They don't trust running backs. After JT, Harris, depending on how McCaffrey finishes, if McCaffrey can stay healthy, I've said this for weeks now, despite all the McCaffrey incoming hate that comes in when I talk about McCaffrey because people don't listen to what I'm saying. And I preface it every single time I talk about it. I give my caveats. If Christian McCaffrey stays healthy the remainder of the season and balls out, he will be a top 1 to 4, 1 to 3 overall pick in 2022. People will have trust in him again if he can stay healthy, which will be a tall order, but he could potentially do it, sure. If he does, you have JT, you have Najee, you have Christian McCaffrey. You probably have some people that will buy into Cook if Cook can stay healthy for the rest of the year. Maybe Kamara, but then it's going to get really risky. People are going to start going, okay, I want Hill, I want Kupp, I want Adams, I want Chase. You may see 4 wide receivers in the top 12 or 13 overall in 2022 fantasy football redrafts. And so, for that reason, I predict he goes this high. Now, we'll have to talk about whether that's risky or not in 2022. He's going to have such a strong finish, though, that he's going to be in everyone's 4, 5, 6 for wide receivers in 2022 redraft fantasy football. This is rest of season 2021. This is 2022 ADP rankings. Good people. Now let's get to some of the comments. Fantasy is drug for Smitty. I mean, I am pretty amped about it all the time. Smooth Criminal in the house. My boy Joel first in the building. Elgin, Nicholas. What's up, Kicks? What's up, Rick? Ethan in the house. EDP. What is going on? John. Slayer's in the house. What's going on? What do you guys think so far about my Jamar Chase rant? I would love to know what you think. I'd love to know your opinion. T. Higgins or Devontae Smith. We're talking Jamar Chase right now, so just hold your questions to the relevant topic. Let's get through what we're talking about here. If you have a super chat, I will get to those. I always put super chats ahead of anything else. That's the way the show rolls. But as far as the general topic here, what are we saying here? What are we thinking? What do you guys think about Jamar Chase? Am I wrong putting him in my top 4 and 5 rest of season? Not draft value. Not trade value. Like if you were drafting from here forward, you can't draft him number 3 or 4. We're talking about expectation, crafty expectation, trading for him as the number 7 or 8 wide receiver if you were to equate everything to a mock draft and value, stealing Jamar Chase away, but getting in crafty fashion top 3 to 4 wide receiver numbers. Who is with me on Jamar Chase doing this well, and who's with me on trying as many last minute offers as we can to get Jamar Chase at top 7 to 10 wide receiver value before it's too late? I would love to know what we're thinking here. What's up, Mr. B? Should I trade Jefferson for Jamar Chase? I just went over that and I said no, Ethan. I don't know if you just walked in. I'm not saying you should have been here. I don't know if you were here, but no. My whole point in talking about this board was to suggest that you do not trade for Jamar. And I just said it, Ethan. You do not trade for Jamar Chase at the value I just slotted him in at. I just showed you. This is where I think he'll be. This is what you trade him for. So that should answer your question. You do not trade for Jamar Chase at the value of those wide receivers right there. Debo's got more trade value than Jamar Chase. Diggs has more trade value than Jamar Chase. Jefferson has more trade value than Jamar Chase. Anybody that takes this video and goes and makes a trade using Hill, Kupp, Adams, Jefferson, Diggs, Debo, or A.J. Brown to get Jamar Chase is not listening to what I'm trying to accomplish here on the show. I want you to know that. The whole point is to take advantage of this number right here. This number right here. 7 to 12 wide receiver value. That you probably can't even read that. Jamar Chase. 7 to 12 wide receiver trade value. You can't even read that. It's hard to write over this fireplace. Value. Does that make sense, Ethan? You can't go buying this man. You cannot go buying this man more expensive than that. You just can't do it. It's not smart management. It's not smart management. Jackson. Should I trade DK and Van for Jamar? That is a close one because I didn't list him up here, but DK is worthy right about where A.J. Brown is. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I would not be opposed to it. I think it's a very close trade. Very, very close. I would not be opposed to it, though. I think he will definitely at least finish that high in a worst-case scenario. So, definitely think that's a good potential trade for you. It could work out really well. Ethan, no apologies ever needed. Ethan, no apologies ever needed. I'm just trying to let you know so you don't press the wrong button. Now let's move on to Darren Waller. Let's talk about Darren Waller. Now, Darren Waller, I don't know if I need to go to the board on this because we don't need to write anything down on this. But Darren Waller was overdrafted to an extreme degree. People drafted Darren Waller. Let me see if I can play this video for you. This is what I put on Instagram, my YouTube Shorts. Let's see here. Let me transfer it to my phone and I'll play it. This is a video that I just made and put up, and some of you have already seen it, but I want you to watch it if you haven't. I want you to take it in. I want you to absorb it. I want you to use it to your advantage. Here we go. Watch the video. Enjoy. Be good to each other in the comments, please. We're not putting up with any negativity. Two players to trade for right now are Jamar Chase and Darren Waller. You won't be able to steal Jamar Chase away from a crafty owner, especially in dynasty leagues, but his value is going to double here in the next coming weeks. And while people know he can produce top 5 to 10 wide receiver numbers in redraft, he's going to drop such big numbers here in weeks 11 on. Probably some sort of 150 plus yard game with like 2 or 3 touchdowns. He's going to finish out the year so strong. He's going to rank somewhere in between 9 and 14 overall heading into 2022 redraft leagues. You heard me right. As for Darren Waller, this man is so undervalued because he hasn't played well. People will be hyper focused on what they paid. They overpaid on draft day. People don't recalibrate their values and thinking, and when Waller was overpriced on draft day and you get to come in and buy him way under, the risk is baked in. Waller can win you a league if he bounces back, and I think there's a good chance he could. My top 2 go-gets right now, Jamar Chase, Darren Waller. Go get him now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let me address some of the negativity around Waller. And this is not, here's Mr. B saying Waller will be fine. This is Swaggy. So 2 different perspectives. I'm not trying to call any one of you out. You have legitimate reasons for feeling the way you feel, Mr. B. You have legitimate reasons, Swaggy, for feeling the way you feel. But what I'm trying to emphasize here is very similar. Very similar. Let me see if I can put it on the board here. Very similar to what we went through with Dalvin Cook many years ago. Okay, so let me break this down as simplistically as I can. Here is a mock draft. Okay, here's a mock draft. Round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, and then round 5 down below that. Okay, so to address Swaggy's concern, Waller's overrated. And it's a valid concern. He has not done what he's supposed to do. Waller was getting drafted around this range in 2021. People that drafted Waller way overpaid. They paid late second to early third round value, which I was strongly against. And I didn't draft him, and I still support that because obviously it worked out. This is exactly why you don't draft Waller. This is exactly why you don't draft Kelsey. What you do is you come in and you scoop them up at value that's more around this range right now. This is the value you're paying for Waller right now in a trade. In this bottom of the 4th heading into the 5th round. That's what kind of value you can get Waller for. So to address Swaggy, the risk is completely baked in. Baked in, boys. It's not risky at all. And the same thing happened with Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook was right around here, but then he tore his ACL. Then everybody was worried about him. He came back at the very end of after was a hamstring injury in 20 mixing my dates up 2018 coming into 2018. And everybody said, I'm not buying Cook. Way too risky. He's not a top 5 running back. Yet his ADP kept continuing to fall. It fell literally into the 3rd round, Dalvin Cook, and everybody kept saying the same thing. They kept regurgitating the same line. Dalvin Cook's way too risky. Dalvin Cook's way too risky. Dalvin Cook's way too risky. Yet they didn't really realize it's a new level of risk, and the upside's tremendously higher now that he's fallen so far. This is the same concept with Waller. Everyone's repeating Waller's way too risky. Way too risky. Waller's not going to bounce back. He's mediocre. Buy him at mediocre value. And you're going to get a potential what? What will you get? In the very worst case scenario, Swaggy, you're going to get probably what you paid. Would you kind of agree with that? If you buy Waller at what could equate to, if you were looking at draft value with trade value, you would get Waller at like 4th round value. He's going to earn that. He'll get you 60 yards, 80 yards, occasional touchdown, even if he busts on you and doesn't have the comeback we expect him to have. Waller is a steal. Waller can win you a league if he does return to this value right here, and you never had to pay it. You step in and buy the stock low when the stock plummets, and everybody that bought it here is selling it off here because they're freaking out and they need a win. And now you come in and you buy it right here, and you potentially win your league because of it. Sounds like you with Barkley, Smitty. I mean, it's a good point, Robert. We all have tendencies. Like, we're all human beings. We're all biased. We're filled with a bunch of bias. I mean, we all have things we got to work out on that on a regular basis. Nobody's immune from having bias inject into their rankings. And maybe I would say Barkley could be one of those ones where I'm not ready to give him a chance, and he could prove me wrong. Then again, I'm playing an odds game with Barkley that he could potentially go down. I'm playing an odds game if the price is right, even though there's some individuals in here that just don't listen at all about my Christian McCaffrey takes. Like, they don't, like, to the point where if it keeps happening, we're just gonna, I know mods are blocking it because it's annoying. Like, what I'm saying about McCaffrey is if McCaffrey stays healthy, he's gonna be the running back 1, 2, or 3 overall going forward. JT's certainly going to make waves to be the running back 1, even if McCaffrey stays healthy. Najee could certainly hold his own against McCaffrey. Like, it's these 3. It's McCaffrey, it's Najee, and it's JT. Someone's got to be off their rocker, just plain doesn't understand fantasy football if they, with certainty, are going to tell you that one of those 3 can't outbeat one of the others. You know, it's CMC, or it's Najee, or it's going to be JT in any order. No one knows. No one can say with certainty one of those guys won't outscore the other. But to the degree of trading McCaffrey, if you own McCaffrey right now, there's no point in trading him if you don't get 2 players that you're fine with, even if McCaffrey blows up. Like, people misunderstand my trade advice on McCaffrey, and it's head scratching because I feel like I explained it thoroughly. But if you're trading McCaffrey, if you can't get 2 players, if you can't get, so here's CMC, you're trading him. If you can't get 2 players to the tune of a Swift and let's say a DK at the, let's say Jefferson, then why on earth would you trade him? The upside has to outweigh the risk of missing McCaffrey if McCaffrey continues to blow up. If McCaffrey continues to blow up, you must get in your Christian McCaffrey trade enough to feel perfectly fine if this happens. You want to both win the trade if McCaffrey continues to blow up. If you can't say that about your trade, you are making a bad Christian McCaffrey trade away trade. You are sending McCaffrey packing not under the instruction that I've given. You need to trade Christian McCaffrey away for 2 players that you would lose 0 sleep if McCaffrey continues to play well all year long. If you cannot say that about your trade, you made a bad McCaffrey trade. Because that's the only way you trade McCaffrey away. But you certainly explore it because McCaffrey could go down at any moment. So why not take a safe approach if it's possible and get yourself a Swift and Jefferson? Or let's say you were to up it to a Hill and then you got to lower the running back expectation and you get a different player here as a running back. I don't know what running back even exists anymore in the running back climate that we're talking about here. It's crazy. It's crazy. Running back 2s are near non-existent. We could say potentially I Swift's the top option. You could put, I mean, yeah, I don't. You can't really put Hendy in there anymore. You could maybe put Mixon in there, Hill and Mixon for CMC, potentially something that would make it worth your while to trade Christian McCaffrey. And even if he blows up, you're fine with it. You have to be fine with it. If McCaffrey blows up, your trade has to still make sense, or you made a very, very bad McCaffrey trade. And that's what's frustrating is some of the commenters in here that they keep getting like timed out by the mods, and rightly so, because you're being annoying coming in and just saying the same thing over and over. You're not proving any points, and it's nonsense because you're not listening. Trade Dillon for Waller. I would. Why not get a guy? It depends on what's going on, bro. It depends on what your lineup looks like. If you've got a Hawkinson, then probably no. It's probably not the right trade. Caleb. Smitty. A guy in my league has Waller and Jamar Chase. Can you recommend a trade? I have Dak, Gibson, Henderson, Montgomery, Michael Carter, Godwin, Diggs, Deontay, Ridley. And we've got some more super chats. Overcome, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, good buddy. Master, appreciate you, good buddy. Lang with the super chat, good buddy. Thank you. Jackson, appreciate that earlier super chat. Let's break this down. Let's break it down. Thank you, Ultimate. Smitty, can I get away with trading Kamara for Chase and Fournette? I don't know that I like that. I'd rather probably have Kamara. I think you need to get a better running back than Fournette, in my opinion. I think you need to get somebody, like, would I trade Kamara for Jamar Chase and Swift? Yeah, I would do that. Would I do it for Connor? Maybe. That one's more close. Caleb, let's cook up a trade for you. You have Dak, Gibson, Henderson, Monty, Michael Carter, Godwin, Diggs, Deontay. I tried trading Deontay and Diggs with Michael Carter, or Deontay and Montgomery for Henderson. For Kamara, for Chubb, for potentially Eckler. I tried trading two of your players, not including Diggs, not including Monty if you can. Henderson worries me enough that I'd trade Henderson and a Deontay for a bigger name player. I'd also consider Michael Carter and Godwin for one-upping my wide receiver spot, just a couple spots, even if it's like a DK Metcalf instead of Godwin. I would give up Carter for that. I would give up Deontay to move Dak into Mahomes, but that's probably too late. That was last week. That was beating the drum last week. Go get Mahomes, go get Mahomes, go get Mahomes, go get Hill, go get Kelsey. Now that ship has probably sailed. Josh Allen, maybe. You can still get him. I would take Josh Allen over Dak for a Michael Carter. Would I trade Monty and Deontay for Eckler? I would. I would try and keep Monty, but you might need to include Monty. You might need to. 165 in here, only 58 likes. Terry's not happy. Punch the like button. Punch the like button. Lang with the super chat. Lang, I appreciate you, buddy. Traded Lenny and Bateman for Chase.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Damn, boy. Sometimes I feel like I train people to go out there and crush it in their job interview once they leave the fantasy football college. Learning the knowledge from the fantasy football college, and this man goes out and just completely lands the interview of a life, crushes it, and brings in the talent. Look at this man. Making things happen, moving mountains. And the veto police are probably after you as we speak, bro. Just completely about ready to smash down your door and take Jamar Chase back from you. Confiscate him. Will you approve the trade he offered Tyreek Hill for my Najee? I mean, you could argue this is very close, bro. I mean, Hill's playing out of his mind. And Najee, too. Najee's a running back. I can't imagine you winning the league giving up Najee Harris, though. Like, I worry about what your running backs look like. I'm going to say initially no. I'm going to say I probably draft Najee ahead of Hill. Hill could outscore him or score as much as him, but being a running back, you draft Harris as the best player available potentially, even if they score the same. All things being really close to equal position would matter. I draft best player available regardless of position, but position does have heavy weight on best player available. It's all encompassing. It's not something that, like, you know, you don't consider the position at all. You do, but when all things are equal, position can override any, you know, potential close call. And Najee's got the positional advantage. He is a running back in a very cold running back climate and landscape, bro. Should I trade Mike Williams for Javonte Williams? I probably would, especially if you need a running back. If you need a wide receiver badly, Mike Williams, I believe, will bounce back, and I really like both of them. I like both Mike Williams and Javonte Williams, and I could see saying yes to either side of this depending on your team need, because I believe Mike Williams will have a very decent finish to the season. But I also like the idea of Javonte getting in there, which we're waiting, and we could continue to wait. It's week 11 now. It's frustrating. But we see Javonte blowing up on the field. He had a 20-something yard touchdown call back. Like, he's doing good things. He's looking good. Probably still the top running. Maybe JT's tied him or passed him now. I'd have to find the data. But Javonte was the number one running back in the league in 30-yard plus runs. JT might have tied him or passed him, but Javonte was holding that record even through Derrick Henry's time before he went down. It was Javonte Williams that held that stat. Top running back in the league for 2021 in 30-yard plus runs. So I love Javonte, and I'm hopeful. We don't have any guarantees whatsoever that he's going to get that starting job at all this year, but he's still doing damage even though he's not. Get Dak plus Jamar for Teddy plus Cup if you need a QB. Like, if you only had Teddy B and you couldn't get Cam off waivers, you can't get Mac Jones off waivers. Like, would I rather have Mac Jones and Cup? Yes. I'd rather have Mac Jones and Cup. Would I rather have Cam and Cup? Maybe. But would I rather have Teddy Bridgewater specifically? No ifs, ands, or buts. No trading him out. He's the best quarterback you're ever going to get. Teddy B and Jamar for Cup. Teddy B and Cup, or Dak and Jamar, that becomes a much closer call, because Dak is a head and shoulders above Teddy B. Head and shoulders above him. But Cup is the number one or number two wide receiver, but I'm predicting Jamar Chase is top 5 going forward. Very, very close call. I venture to say you're not looking at Teddy Bridgewater as your only option, bro. It's hard to imagine that. So I'm going to hold off before, stamping approval on this one. And I don't even know if I'm going to stamp approval on it. It's tough to trade Cup. Should I trade Hopkins or Lamb for Jamar Chase? I would trade Hopkins right now for Jamar Chase in a heartbeat. As you saw on my board, bro. Look at my board. Right here. You've got Hill, Cup, Adams, Jefferson, Diggs, Debo, A.J. Brown, maybe DK. Maybe a couple others. And Hopkins isn't on there. 2021 rest of season because he's out this week. He has a bye week. There's a lot of reasons to bump him down. Jamar Chase, I just showed you. I'm ranking him 7 to 12, and his value is going to be probably 4 moving forward, in my opinion. So easy call. Jamar Chase over Hopkins, but keep Lamb. Lamb's right there. Like, if I have to go back, I got to go back here and write Lamb up here. Lamb's right here. He's still there too. Lamb's right there. Get lambed.
Get lambed.
Lamb is for sure right there. So don't get rid of Lamb. Don't get rid of Lamb. Get Lamb, broski. Cars just can't catch a break. Yeah, we have been hit. Well, we can. We can catch 8 breaks, bro. 8 wins is not bad. 8 wins is not bad. We're still going to win the division. Cards definitely have been hit with injury, but we're still doing amazing things. Trade just about anyone for Chase, says Rush. Love Jamar Chase, man. I love him. Be careful. Buy him properly. Buy him like I'm suggesting on my board. Okay? Don't be buying him above 7 to 12 wide receiver value like I have below the left side of those rankings. Buy him at 7 to 12 and potentially get 3 to 4 wide receiver value return rest of season. Hopkins for Najee. Come on, Steven.
Take a look.
I mean, Steven, answer the question out loud.
Take a lap. Take a lap. Take a lap.
Where do you rank?
Take a lap.
Where do you rank Najee Harris if you're drafting today? Where do you rank him? 4, 3, 5 overall? Are you drafting Hopkins at 5 overall? Steven, if you have Najee, I don't want you to get upset. Okay? Or if you're getting Najee, I want you to, as you take your lap, you pat yourself on the back because you did good work, son. Okay? So I don't want to. It's a prideful thing taking a lap on the show, bro. Don't take it personally. It's growth. It's tough love. It's a coach yelling at you to take another lap. That's where it came from. I think I'm caught up on Super Chats to this point. Look at just got in. Steven, that's the attitude I'm talking about. This is good. This is progress right here. Steven took it. He took it well. He took it well. Took it prideful. Steven knows what taking a lap means. Taking laps, as Cambo said, only makes you stronger. I take laps all the time. iSong. Adams for Najee or Adams for Damian Harris? You mean Najee Harris, bro? Oh, no, Damian Harris and Jamar. No, you can't trade Adams for Jamar because that would contradict what I'm, saying and suggesting over here. You got to trade for Jamar at 7 to 12 wide receiver value, not at the 3 to 4 wide receiver value. So that would be bad. Harris isn't much of anything right now. Stevenson is a big concern for him. Adams for Najee, I probably would take because Najee I would draft higher than Adams, but it also depends on your team need. You need a running back, so therefore I like it. I would punch that iSong. I would punch it. I would get Najee. I'd draft Najee ahead of Adams. Not by a ton, but I draft him ahead. Evans for Jamar Chase.
You've just been Smitty approved.
You're damn straight I take Jamar Chase for Mike Evans. Jamar Chase, as the board indicates, Rhino, gonna potentially deliver you 3 to 4 wide receiver numbers go forward. Look at me insert Jamar Chase potential-wise in the 3 to 4 slot between Adams and Jefferson. But that little arrow right here tells you do not trade for him at anything less than 7 to 12 wide receiver value because you can. And you certainly are not. You certainly are doing yourself a good trade right here, Rhino. Evans is way below 7 to 12. He's like 12 to 15. And I like Evans. I don't hate Evans, but that's crushing it, bro. That's crushing it. Kevin, thanks for the super chat. I'm going to put you in the corner here and answer you in 1 second. Next question. 187 of you in here. Please punch the thumbs up and help the channel grow. You guys, we're going to be at 10K in a couple weeks, I think. And I can't thank you all enough. Look at this, Rhino. Appreciate all the advice this season. Has made my first season so much fun. Rhino, we're glad to have you in the Fantasy Football Show family. Everybody in here, I'm glad to have you in the Fantasy Football Show family. Bam, Rhino, Smooth Criminal, even what's his name? I keep forgetting. Nick. Even Nick, if Nick would just start talking normal instead of coming in here and just saying CMC, CMC, CMC. Nick, we would love to have you as a part of the community, but be productive. Be productive. I appreciate all of you in here. Smitty, I have Eckler, Najee, Cook, Madison, and Henderson. Also, A.J. Brown and Bateman. Nobody wants Henderson, and I'm in need of a wide receiver bat. I'm hesitant to trade running backs. You have Eckler, Najee, Dalvin Cook, and Madison. You're hesitant to trade. Bro, you can get rid of a running back here. Trade Henderson for, you could probably wait on Hopkins. You could trade Henderson for, you can't get DK. You can't get even like a McLaurin. You can't even get a McLaurin. You can't. Try Jamar Chase. Don't trade Eckler. Don't trade Najee. Don't trade Cook. Keep your core. But if you could trade away Bateman and Henderson for a slightly better player than Henderson, but that plays wide receiver, and again, maybe McLaurin is the guy I'd trade straight up for Henderson. Cordell Patterson's hurt. If he's playing wide receiver, if he's receiver and running back eligible, he's somebody you could consider. Get a guy that can play running back and wide receiver. Have you ever thought about that? If he's wide receiver, running back eligible, that might solve your problem, bro. Because then you're getting a. Let me see if I am missing a question. No. Then you're getting your wide receiver and running back concern, both satisfied. And then you're not getting rid of a running back. You got a running back wide receiver, and you wait a week or two. He's limited. He might even practice. Only QBs on waivers are Fields, Tyrod, 2 QB league. I have Hurts. Okay, 2 QB league. Did you say that earlier, bro? You didn't say that earlier. You did not say that earlier. 2 QB league, Dak is worth a lot more than in a non-2 QB league, bro. That is a big, big detail. Did you say? You may have said that. If you did, then I'm more apt to do that. You get Jamar Chase and Dak for Cooper Kupp, punch it. I know a lot of people love Cooper Kupp, but in a 2 QB league, Teddy Bridgewater and Dak, and you get Jamar Chase, punch it. Big detail left out. Huge help. Pushes me over the edge on that one. Hey, Smitty, traded Dylan, Michael Carter, and Pittman for Devontae Adams. Dylan, Michael Carter, Pittman, home run. I love that trade. You're 6-4. Nice work. Have J-Rob, Connor, Carter, Javonte, Sanders, Dylan worth doing a 2-for-1 to sacrifice some depth for a stud running back, J-Rob and Connor for Najee. J-Rob and Connor for Najee. Do it. Punch it. That's not even a question. Like, Najee's a top 4 overall player if you're drafting right now. Like, Smitty approved that one.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Smitty approved the other one, the Dak Prescott one.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Take your victory lap, bro. I mean, these are home runs. I feel like we're doing good work tonight. People are making some good trades. You got time left if you until the game, or maybe your trade deadline's tonight. I mean, insane. And yeah, pick up Fields anyway. James makes a good point. I was too excited to say punch that trade. Pick up Fields as well. Grab them too. Don't leave them out there. Guys, don't forget to get your SleeperU.com membership. Your SleeperU.com SleeperU.com membership. Anybody that buys a lifetime membership, any one of my lifetime membership packages, just go to SleeperU.com, click on pricing, or you can scroll down to the middle of the homepage. Toggle onto the lifetime memberships. Any lifetime membership gets you a free draft call next year where I draft with you for 1 hour. If you buy this in the next week or two, I'm doing this special for a little while. I extended it. I will give you a free draft call. 1 hour, you and me, drafting together on the phone, or I can text you if you want to be low key about it. If you don't have an earpiece and you don't know how to navigate that, or you're going to get, I don't know. I've done it all. I've zoomed. I've seen the screen. I've done it all. I've called in. I've been on speaker, and somebody's been in a room by themselves doing the draft. Some people are trying to do it covertly. I will draft with you for the entire hour. Go to SleeperU.com. Sleeper, the letter U, like right here. SleeperU.com. Get that darn lifetime membership like Terry did. I'll be drafting live with Terry during his draft. Hope you're well. I am, Brandon. I am. I'm still exhausted. It's been like, how long has it been? Weeks? I'm still exhausted. I'm still foggy brained. I still mess up once in a while. I still say the wrong thing. I sometimes am not fully clear. But whatever. We're doing it live. Brandon, hit that like button, he says. Hope you get 10K soon. All with your help. You guys share it out. Tell people about the show. I know you're selfish with the content, but there are ways to share it. You go to a Christmas party, a Thanksgiving party, And there's people you know them and they're watching the football games. Like when you go to your Thanksgiving Turkey Day football gatherings, maybe it's work, and you're standing around people you don't play in leagues with. Like tell them, say, I'm a member of the Fantasy Football Show community. You ought to check it out. Let them come in and see you be a part of the show, a big part of the hardcore OG community. Tell your buddies, tell your friends, tell your grandmas. Get your grandmas in here. We're going to get the 10K before you know it. Someone offered me Waller, CMC, Barkley for Najee, Thielen, Lockett, Knox. Give me Waller and CMC and Barkley in a heartbeat. As much as I love Najee, it's not even a question. And I assume that's redraft, but not even a question. Seclan says, Smitty, I just got back from Chandler. I just traded Michael Carter for Thielen. My running backs. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I like Thielen a little bit better than Michael Carter, so I'm good with that. I'm good with that, broski. I don't mind that. I'm going to go on another show in a minute, too. What other questions you got for me? Hit me with some stuff. Destroy that like button, says Justin. Yeah, that's an easy trade. That Barkley and whatever you got, that was insane. I'm a mom. My mom doesn't do computers or smartphones. Well, maybe grandma does. We're getting everybody in here. It can be grandmas, grandpas, Uncle Bob, Uncle Bud, Bob from accounting. We do not discriminate. And we welcome everybody into the show, and we appreciate you being here, doing it live. Trade Swift for Zeke. I almost trade Zeke for Swift and another player, though. You know, that's like the formula I'm looking for. Like, I like Zeke, and you guys know I push Najee and Zeke hardcore. Like, draft Najee, draft Zeke. Don't listen to the hate. Both of them have performed very well. But Zeke feels like he's fallen into the, real quickly. Now, Zeke feels like he's fallen into the end zone. You know what I mean? Like you can't take away touchdowns and say, well, you take away that touchdown, he would have done good. You take away that long run, he would have done good. I'm not playing that game. Zeke's scoring, Zeke's doing well, but his volume's low and he's been efficient, and I like that. But I'm starting to worry a little bit. So I'm the kind of guy going, okay, what can I get? Can I find a running back from here on out? I'm not talking about full season. I didn't like drafting Swift really early. I don't mind trading for Swift for week 11 on. If I'm going to get a wide receiver like DK, you know. So Swift for Diggs, Zeke's got more trade value. That's why I'm trying to get Swift and a player. So I'm going to say no on this one. I'm going to say keep Zeke Elliott. Brandon, what are your thoughts on trying to send away AB, Andrews, Gaskin, and Collins for Waller, Chase, and Aaron Jones? AB, Andrews, Gaskin, Collins. Brandon, I believe me, I'm laughing with you, not at you. I'm laughing with the chickens here. It's AB, Andrews, Gaskin, and Collins couldn't get you Jamar Chase all by himself. So it's funny throwing Waller in and throwing Aaron Jones. It's like you're getting three guys that by themselves you probably couldn't get each one individually for AB, Andrews, Gaskin, and Collins. You know what I mean? Like maybe Waller. Maybe Waller, you could get Waller for that because people are undervaluing Waller. And that's why I'm talking about Waller. Okay? Get Waller. Waller's a beast. But you're living in a nice world. It's a dream world, Brandon. But it certainly is nice. We'd almost call this cute. This is cute, Brandon. How cute. Thinking you can land Jamar, Waller, and Jones. If you do, Brandon, let me put it this way. Brandon, if you can land this trade, anything remotely close to it, I'm going to put your super or your next super chat. If you say, hey, Smitty, I did it. Here's my trade. Boom. I'll keep that up the entire show to celebrate the master trader that you would be if you were able to pull off anything remotely close to this. You would immediately become the co-host of the show. At least for a day. Okay, Brandon? That would be amazing. We'd all be in awe of Brandon. He's going to come back. Brandon's going to pull it off. Now, Brandon, you can't slip him a $20 bill. It's got to be real. Oh, my God. Henderson and Judy for Debo. Of course. Debo, for trade value alone. I mean, I'm not saying trade Debo, but Henderson and Judy for Debo. Debo right now could get you Jamar Chase and Swift. Like, that's what I'm talking about. DK and Swift. If you need to make moves, you could replace this trade. So you send Hendy and Judy out to get Debo, and then you send it back out and you get Swift and DK. So you basically trade Henderson and Judy for Swift and DK. You know, you could trade Debo and something small and get Eckler. You could trade Debo and something small and get Chubb. You know, you can't do that with Henderson and Judy. That is the one way to know if you're crushing a trade, is ask yourself, what you're getting back, is it going to give you more if you offered it out there? And that answers a question for you. It tells you, well, what I'm getting certainly is better, because I could trade Henderson or I could trade Debo for almost a low-end running back one like Chubb or Eckler. And I say low, they're still very good and high, but I just mean if you're ranking 10 running backs and Chubb's like at 7, 8, 9, whatever, that's the lower half of the top 10, you could potentially get Chubb or Eckler for Debo. You can't sniff that with Henderson and Judy. So, Chris, that answers the question for you. You know, ask that to yourself. Say, what could I trade? Could I get more from this player I'm getting? Yeah, I can. Therefore, you're crushing the trade. If you can't, then you're losing the trade. Chris, this is for the chat community. He doesn't want to ask me. Chris, I won't answer. Okay, I will. Trade Emmanuel Sanders for Odell. Okay, I will leave that for the chat. I don't know, bro. Sure. Like, I don't know. It's like asking me about a kicker. You know, Odell and Sanders. I mean, way to. This is why you didn't ask me. You didn't want to kick the show right in the nads and slow it down to a crawl. That's on me. That's on me. You warned me. You did the right thing.
Take a lap.
I butted my nose in.
Take a lap.
And I just slowed the show down to a crawl. We probably lost 3 viewers because I read that question. Dylan and Goddard for Waller. If you are doing okay at running back and Dylan doesn't become an immediate running back 2 for you, then I would take Waller. Like, if you're contemplating, how do I use Dylan? Like, this is the perfect trade for Waller. And even if you don't, you're getting 2 weeks out of Dylan. It will be painful to watch Dylan run for 100 and a touchdown, or 102 touchdowns, or 150 total yards and a touchdown. You're going to feel very, very sick inside because he might do that for 2 weeks. But Waller is a league winner, and you get him for the rest of the year, and I think he does improve a ton. Mike Williams, I'm buying because he's free. You could literally take a day-old ham sandwich, put it on the table, in exchange for Mike Williams and be on your way. He's so easy to acquire, and he's a potential, not a lock. This is why he's a good go-get, people. Not because I'm banking on anything, but he could be a very high-end wide receiver 3, if not higher. He was playing like a wide receiver 1 not that long ago. Are we going to not learn from the bounce backs that we've seen already this season, like in Mahomes' case? I know Mahomes is a much bigger gun, but everybody saw him blow up in weeks 1 through 4. 3 TDs in week 1, 3 TDs in week 2. Mahomes had 3 TDs in week 3, 5 TDs in week 4, had a big slump, a long one. And everyone's, oh, Mahomes sucks. So what do we do? What do we do with Patrick Mahomes, Smitty? He's bad. They figured him out. Somebody saw on film what to do, and they shut him down. He's done. He's bad. He's bad, Smitty. He's bad. Now, we love him again. Everybody loves him again. Mike Williams was literally a top 5 to 10 wide receiver for a pretty decent length of time in this season. We're not talking about, oh, he was good once and you're running the risk of trusting. He was this season a top 5 to 10 wide receiver for a pretty decent stretch of games. And then he fell off the face of the earth. He hasn't come back. Like, doubters have that going in their favor when they're arguing against this. But I'm just saying, this is a guy that has potential, because we've seen it this year, to bounce back to some good degree. Maybe not the same degree, but a good degree. I'm buying Mike Williams. I love Mike Williams at his current value. Judy for Mike Williams, punch it. I love Judy, but punch it. Take Mike Williams. Thank you, Derek, for the super chat. I appreciate you. I will look for any question you have. Some people super chat and they mean to attach the question and they don't, so post it real quick. I am going on another show real quick. My boy Bear Down Cuz on Instagram. So check us out on his YouTube channel. He should have his link in his bio. Mark F. Smitty, just saw you were on. Have Diggs, Jefferson, DK. Who do I try and trade for Chase? Give me, as I say on the board here, bro. As I say on the board, you're not trading Hill, Kupp, Adams, Jefferson, Diggs, Debo, probably Lamb, probably AJ Brown. You're not trading those guys for Jamar because you don't need to. So you can't really trade any of these players for Jamar. You need to do something else. Because the point is buying low, and you be buying him at the value I'm telling you I think he's going to produce at, that you don't need to buy at. So I don't know that you're doing this. What you need to do is trade like Diggs for Jamar and like an upgrade at running back. That's what you do. Or trade whatever wide receiver, Jefferson even. Trade Jefferson for Jamar and get an upgrade somewhere because you can. Because you can, Mark. I'm going to go on the show. Appreciate you all. I wanted to do this emergency meeting. If you, like always, if you have a super chat that comes in right when I end, just tell me in the comments, hey, I super chatted. You didn't answer it. Can you answer it here? And as always, I answer every single question within the first 12 to 24 hours. So please ask me a question right when I'm done. Ask me a question and I will answer you tonight. Okay? Ask me a question. We have 194 people in here. Hit the thumbs up. It helps me. Please punch the thumbs up right now. It helps me. Punch it. There's 200 of you in here live right now. Please, your boy Smitty's wanting to get to 10K so I can bring you better and faster and more content. I want to be live every single day. As the show grows, I'm afforded to let go of other things that I do to try and produce more shows and more content. I only have so much time, and it goes into revenue driving stuff. And if I'm able to do more lives, it helps you. Punch the thumbs up. That helps me so much. Leave a comment. That helps me a ton. It helps the algorithm. It helps me get more engagement. So leave a question. I will answer you tonight. Punch it. Let's do it. Let's go. I will see you all tomorrow. I'm live from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern. 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern. The Fantasy Football Show live. Join me tomorrow. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, everybody in here. Thank you all for the super chats.